Well, welcome back to another episode of Piping Up. We're here at St. Matthew's Lutheran Church here in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Sitting next to me is Ben Boellner. He's the organist here. And behind us is the beast of an organ. It's the 10th largest organ in the world. Ben, thanks so much for having us.
I'm really glad you got to get here.
Yeah, it's a small trip, kind of more or less from Quakertown, but it is a nice hike. But,
it's a little hike for everybody to get here, because Hanover's in such a weird spot.
Yeah. Well, just even getting here was a little tricky, but it worked.
It can be tricky, but it's fun.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks so much for having us.
You were welcome.
So tell us a little bit about the organ behind us here.
So behind us, everybody, is the 1924 Austin Opus 1215, standing at 247 ranks. That is 247 pipe ranks, everyone. You have one of the 10 largest organs in the world. Over time, it's changed, I think, from 10 to 9 to 8. I don't remember anymore because the list is so out of date. But it is in the top 10. The organ has undergone a very significant renovation and rebuilding process from 2012 to 2016. Rededicated in the fall of 2016 by none other than the tabernacle organist, Dr. Rick Elliott. Fantastic. So this instrument has started its life in 1924 at, believe it or not, 88 ranks. In that time, that's a really big organ. You'll see later in the video that the organ is the quintessential definition in this room of the first surround sound system, because it's 8 divisions spread across this entire room. You've got it in the front, the ceiling, the back. So I'll give you a demo. Over the years, of course, it's gone through a lot of stuff. We actually have a book that can be found under the music page in our website on just everything that's gone on the instrument. Again, like I said, in 1924, it began as 87 speaking stops, 88 ranks, nearly 5,000 pipes. 1929, again, it was enlarged with 2,800 more pipes, and the second console went on. 1931, the solo chamber, which is now the celestial division, was moved from the back into the chancel up in the front. And on top of that, but wait, there's more. This organ is a complete embarrassment of luxurious riches. That a section of the roof was blown out, and they put a 31 rank string division above the swell. Over the years, of course, organists make tonal improvements. 1934, the great and swell organs had a little bit of tonal work done, of course, to beef them up. And then the harmonic trumpet was added in the swell. 1964, you're getting into the organ reform movement, which unfortunately emasculated many, many instruments. You went away from French horns, clarinets, big lead open diapasons, to skinny Geigen principals and work principe, German, North German Baroque, bright mixtures where everything was screechy, and then you had the 8-foot principal. If you think about it in a triangle, you would have the mixtures at the bottom being the biggest and the 8-foot being the smallest. Thankfully, this organ did not get emasculated. We are so lucky and blessed that this organ still retains all of the luxurious, incredible solo voices, the French horn, orchestral horn, gamba, it goes on and on. What was switched out, of course, were some of the principals in other divisions, and the tuba mirabilis in the swell was changed out to a trumpet royale on none than 20 inches of pressure. It's big. It crowns the organ. And of course, the console has been returned to the factory another handful of times. In 1971, again, the organ was brought up to none other than 31 ranks, 239 stops, bringing the pipe count up to 14,341. In 1982, the organ was declared complete. But wait, there's more. In 1988, the carillon was added to this instrument. over the years, Herb Springer was the organist. He was the organist for over 50 years. And what he wanted was funded by a woman by the name of Mrs. Clara Gladfelder Mao. Big time donor to this instrument. It is because of Mr. Springer, this organ stands as one of the 10 largest in the world. And it is not just an organ that will play the literature, but it is serving the needs of the liturgy in the church. And that's its primary focus. There is no forced voicing. This organ is warm in its nature. With an instrument this big, of course, the tuning is going to vary. It's stacked on multiple levels. I have 3 different sets of pistons for Sunday morning because the weather affects it greatly because it's on outside walls. You name it, it happens.
Yeah, that happens a lot more than normally most people would think, because that's a big thing that when we've traveled, we've heard a lot about that too. Bethlehem, the one church in Bethlehem at Presbyterian Church, they have constant issues with that, keeping it, because most of their pipes are on the back wall of the church, so it makes it extremely hard to keep in the temperature. So when it comes down to, Sunday mornings, they have to turn it on really early to bring it back to temp.
Yeah, we try to keep this room at a stable temperature, but of course it's very large.
Yeah.
From the 1990s on to 2012, the organ was of course showing its age. I mean, 1925, next year will be the 100th true anniversary of this instrument. 100th anniversary. So this thing has been praising God and leading worship for, I can't imagine how many weddings, funerals, celebrations it goes on. It underwent a $1.8 million restoration. The real goal was to take this thing totally out, which is a feat in and of itself. But because St. Matthew was so busy, it wouldn't have been possible, because a digital instrument wouldn't have been able to fill the needs probably as well as it could in this room. The acoustics are very tricky in this instrument, in this room. So, of course, new console, new wiring, lots of pipe work repaired because of the years of tuning. The antiphonal division was originally the echo, and that was a lot of softer stops. In this renovation in 2012, that division was completely ripped out, recomposed, and it is 33 ranks. It is bigger than a lot of instruments, 2-3 manual instruments in many churches.
Yeah, it's big.
It is principal chorus through mixture, 2 different sets of strings, reeds, flutes. It has every color that you could totally imagine. And there is just so many things to say about this instrument. It's got everything, more than one of everything. right now is into the swell, string, and the solo chamber. But before you get into there, you have a dedicated organ shop. I can do some work if I need to pull a part down, minor pipe repair, things of that nature, where I keep some of my tuning tools. I've got my accoutrement of tuning knives and a hammer to tune stuff. No, I don't beat the tops of pipes. I can use this to move 16-foot stoppers. I've got all the notes from the renovation, so old organ repair stuff, all of the manuals, of course, the Walker manuals, things of that nature. If I ever get into a question of something not speaking right, I've got my wind gauge here to check things. And over here this was made by a previous organ technician. We've got, for demos when I have people, just take it downstairs for the kids. Right in front of you guys, this is the pedal division right here. And you've got the Walker Quakers right here. Yeah. Right here is the 16-foot pedal bombard, 1 to 12. Behind you is the wooden contrabass, number 2 scale, I do believe. So this is the pedal. Of course, over the years, you've got lots of goodies. This is the brilliant trumpet that was added later in the 30s. Above here is the 16-foot heckelphone. That is one of the interesting voices. If anybody is feeling dangerous and risky, we are going to take a field trip into the lower swell airbox. Austin airbox. This is known as a tracker chest. Similar to a tracker organ. You have your stop actions up here, which engage what are called pipe bars above. And then you've got the individual note actions. And under each valve on the pipe bar sit
the pipes up on top.
The pipes on the top of the chest. So it's pretty intricate. When you're working on things, if something happens, do not wear a watch or anything, because I have been known to wear a watch by accident, fix something, it gets caught and you break a tracker. Not fun. You have the internal regulators of the organ over here. This portion of the organ sits on 7 inches of pressure. And you've got the expression engines here, the shade engines. These are 8-stage pneumatic engines, and they're pretty nifty. They are what open and close the shade engines. These work very, very, very well.
Now, are these original to the organ, or
I do believe these are original, and they were re-leathered and reworked.
Okay, well, yeah, because that eventually would go.
In the renovation. Yep. And of course, you have the miles and miles of electrical wiring in here. This is the virtuoso control system, the brains of the organ.
The whole thing, or just a portion?
Just
the whole
for
thing.
Part of this division.
Got it.
Each note has a wire, starting with white and blue, blue and white. It follows a certain color code using telephone cable, modern electrical code. Everything is on fuses. One thing I absolutely love about the Austin company is their meticulous attention to detail and wiring.
Yeah.
There is not one thing out of place, and if there is a problem, I'm able to chase it down and fix it.
Because it's easier to find, because they.
And there's a manual with a diagram. It's got about 35 pages to follow.
Yeah.
So this is how most of the guts of the organ work. As you're playing, you can hear the clicking, and it's pretty incredible. Watch your head, because you will get stuck. This is what you call a universal air chest. Some of the other part of the organ sits on what's called a rim chest, where you can walk in some of it.
Yeah.
Some you have to climb in and lay on your back.
Yeah. This one's pretty spacious, though.
This is very spacious.
Yeah,
yeah. Some of them are not.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Again, that's how it works, and we'll take a tour through some of the rest of the organ. Cool. All right, so Stephen, we are in the lower swell. We were in the airbox just below. Right. This is only a portion of the division. Yep. There is organ everywhere. It's a lot of people said this organ is really difficult to tune. It's not once you know where you're going.
Right.
So from the front, you have the Vox Seraphique, the violin. You have a battery of strings here. You've got the 4-foot principal. You've got the 2-foot piccolo, one of the celestes, English horn, 4-foot clarion. And then on your way back here, you've got the 16-foot Lieblich gedeckt, which is the wood pipes all the way up.
Right.
Another, I believe that's the viola. And then you've got the 8-foot Geigen principal, the 4-foot octave, another set of strings. I can't remember all of them. That's where my key holder comes in. I'm like, play this string or play the celeste.
Yeah.
The 16-foot contraffugato and that is on this 2 bars here, right, and then the 8-foot cornopian. Part of the fugato goes over to the wall over here.
So right over here.
Because of chest spacing and revisions over the years. You've got basses up against the wall. And above us is the upper swell chest with the oboe and other things we'll see as we traverse the ladders.
Right.
It's big.
Yeah.
And it is fully enclosed. You've got expression facing the chancel and going out in the nave as well.
Right. Now this right here, is this also, this is part of the same thing,
This is right here. That is actually the 5-rank plongeau mixture.
Okay.
I'm hoping in the future.
That's what I thought it looked like, yeah, because we've seen different, like this has been, in other organs, this has been outside of the chambers.
And what, over the years when things were added and changed around, I'm hoping to flip-flop a couple things over the years as just to make them, easier and more fun of you. Right here is the upper swell. You've got buried behind everything is the Sesquialtra 5-rank. In front of you right here is the 3 to 4 rank acuta. That is the last mixture that you pull as you have full organ out. I need to do a little bit of love to this chest.
Yeah, looks like it needs it.
Because we've had a little bit of a roof problem that has now been fixed. And this had a cipher that was in a very inopportune portion of a service. And I just came up and plopped the pipes out. This is one of those things that you don't use 1,000,001 times. In here is tight.
Yes, I can see that.
So if you want to just get the camera in, you've got the shades, you've got the oboe, some strings, some flutes, specifically the Zart flute, big wooden open flute, and you've got a couple of mutations. The chimney flute is up here. Lots of goodies.
Very interesting.
Yeah, this organ division right here, specifically this chest, is the one that's a little more difficult to tune.
This is the hardest one, pretty much?
Yeah, you have to lay on your side, on your stomach, but nothing too terrible.
Yeah.
This division's very stable.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do terribly much tuning except for tune the oboe.
Right.
When the weather changes, which so far we're pretty lucky.